Hi everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Broken Sword Shadow of the Templars, the first Broken Sword game which I have been waiting to play for a long time now. And when I say a long time, I mean over 10 years. I've just never got around to playing it. I've heard people say it's one of the best adventure games of all time. And we're finally going to jump in. Now, some of you guys have responded to a poll that I put up probably about a month ago now, asking whether I should play the original version or the director's cut. You all pretty much said that the director's cut is pretty much the same but with better visuals and a little bit more about the background of one of the characters, I've been told as well. So we're going with the director's cut. I'm really excited for this. We're just going to jump in and go. I have no idea what to expect. It's a completely blind playthrough. I know nothing about this game other than everybody seems to love it. So here we go. New game.
Paris. City of love, romance and dreams. So they say. I used to say it too. But ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death.
It's a very ominous opening. And we're in. Okay, here we go. Looks pretty cool so far. I love the art style. Looks a lot sort of like cartoons and things that I would have watched in the 90s. I don't think there's any subtitles on the cutscenes and things though, so I'm going to try not to speak too much over the cutscene-y stuff. But look at that, that looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? I love the shading on the trees as well, the oranges and the yellows, a little bit of green in there, it's really well done.
I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away.
There's something a bit weird about mimes.
Here I was, the palace of the media king and the ice queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation.
Looks like the mime's up to no good.
Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty? You're too kind, madame.
Uh-oh, he's got a gun.
Ah, the talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose.
Don't think that was a cat, dude.
Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat.
God, what? Monsieur Carchon.
Whoa, okay. I mean, as I was saying, I don't particularly like mimes. They're a bit invasive of personal
He's dead.
space.
I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
But this
There
one's a
was
murderer.
mime. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already.
Ooh.
One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Collard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
Ah, so it's a murder investigation game. Interesting. Whoa, okay. Wall of text. Move the mouse pointer around. Okay. Press the left mouse button. That's fine. Click on the briefcase to open the inventory. Diary icon to access the diary. Question mark to get puzzle hints and interface. We're probably not going to do that. Spanner to save and restore. Okay, so we're pretty much just going to need these two, the briefcase and the diary. So let's have a look at the diary. Okay, relaxing in Bath when I was disturbed by a phone call from my editor, Ronnie. He asked me to interview Pierre Carchon, media tycoon and serial philanderer, on the case like a shot. So it's basically just a recap of what's happened. Mine beckoned, he knocked me out. Imelda, distraught, really? Must get to the bottom of this story before the police arrive. This is the break that I have waited for. Yes, probably not a good idea. We don't have anything in our inventory, but we can look at the body. So let's start by doing that, shall we? But yeah, as I was saying, mimes, don't like
Mimes
them.
and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer. At
Oh.
least that's what I'd called him.
So, potentially... Oh, what's this?
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact.
What
It
was it?
must have fallen when I was knocked down.
What, over here? That's very far from where we got knocked down all the way to the left. Okay, well, let's have a look at his
I
head.
closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
Yeah. Anything in the coat?
Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend.
Okay, what is that?
In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now.
True. Let's have a look at this then. It's a gunshot wound, right?
Carchon had been shot.
He had indeed. Anything else we can have a look at here? Feels a bit awkward clicking around that. Just making sure we don't miss anything. Can we?
I opened his eyes. Best to leave the crime scene as I found it.
No, let's
I
close
closed
them.
his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow.
When you think about it, it's a bit dark. We're just sort of pulling his eyes open and closed. Let's just stop, shall we? All right, we'll see what else we've got here. So he obviously came in through the window. Where's the vase that he smashed? Oh, is it there? I think that's the smashed vase there. Let's have a look at this. We're going to take a good look
bust
around.
Of Pierre Carchon, humble servant of La France.
He had a bust of himself? That's pretty egocentric, right? What's on the table? Not a lot. We can look at these books.
The bookcase was filled with obscure first editions.
Okay, nice. Another bust. Is it him again?
Pierre Carchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room.
God, what kind of person has multiple busts of themselves in the room? It's kind of a bit weird. Right, so let's have a look out the window then. And then we'll head out and maybe talk to the wife, see if she knows anything. But anything that she might suspect would be helpful, right? Oh, that's
A
what...
small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job.
Indeed. So I'm guessing he cut the hole... we saw the hole be cut, right? I'm guessing he then reached down and opened the door?
I didn't want to cut myself and leave blood on the glass.
Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep my DNA to myself.
I mean, it's probably wise. We don't want to put our own DNA in a crime scene, right? What do we have? To use an inventory item on the background object, click on that item and hold the mouse button. Or continue and drag the item. Okay, so basically drag and click. Let's have a look at...
It was a boat ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. When I was a little girl, Papa used to take me on the Bateau Mouche as a treat.
Okay.
It was one of my hair clips. My favourite, in fact.
So it just says what it said when we picked it up. I wonder if we can use that for like lock picking or something at some point later in the game, maybe? Right, so we can go out onto the balcony.
The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window.
He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him.
Sounds like it. Oh, okay, so we can't even stay out there, it turns out. We literally automatically come back in. We don't seem to be able to look at the broken vase, which is interesting, because I would have thought that would be something of a clue, given the fact that the killer used it to distract us all, but whatever. Or to lure him into...
The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them.
Yeah, we're going to have a proper look around this place. What's in this room?
The door was locked.
Ah, locked. Now, I was just saying about this, wasn't I? Can we pick the lock?
It was going to take more than a hair clip to open the door. I needed the key.
We can't. We need the key. But the fact that it said that confirms my suspicions that later on we may be able to pick a lock with that. Look at this tapestry. It's fancy, isn't it?
A medieval pageant. Original, no doubt. The tapestry must have cost a fortune.
Probably so. Right. Table. What's that
a
paper?
Louis XIV table with an antique cloth. Imelda had taste. But hey, with a husband that rich, taste is easy.
Probably true. That's a fair assessment. What is this? Ooh.
I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful.
Ooh, what's that?
Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
But a hair clip might, right?
Ah, Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff.
What is this? Alright, let's check there's nothing else around. No. What is this thing?
Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming.
There's that too. I wonder what the hell that thing is.
A key. Maybe a safe key.
It's a key.
The cloth was embroidered with an unusual symbol.
That is an unusual symbol. Could it be the Templars? It looks a bit like the Templars sigil. Sigil. Right. So, was there a... Oh, unless that's the key for that door. Hang on. Right. So, let's have a look at some other stuff here, and then we'll see if we can go into that door. She's obviously calling the police. That's fine.
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that.
No. What is that?
It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine.
Right, we'll take that straight away.
Just the colour I was after for my bathroom.
Lovely.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
What is ultra... Who was she on the phone
Young
to?
lady, what are you doing?
Oh, this paint. It's my favourite colour.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
That was odd. That didn't sound like the police, did it? So it's blue, basically. Ultramarine is blue.
The tube of paint from Imelda's easel. French ultramarine.
Okay, so... I don't particularly want to talk to her just yet. I think we'll go over here. I'm going to see if that key opens this door. I'm guessing it doesn't, but we'll give it a go.
A modern key on an antique door. It wasn't going to work.
No, okay, I didn't think so. Is there anything... anywhere where a key could be hidden for the door? Perhaps not. Let's have a look at the phone, and then we'll try talking to her.
There was no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case.
Okay, right, let's speak to her then.
Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
Right, so... it looks like we can show items.
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
We shall see. Right.
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Pierre Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Yeah.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way.
Fair enough. What about the mime? That is scary looking.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Oh. Does this mean we can be nice or horrible? Let's be nice.
Yes. That's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if. My editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No. I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Let's be good again.
Your husband invited me here today because he needed me. I think he knew somebody wanted to kill him, and he knew I could help.
I doubt it was your database he was after.
You're wrong. I was onto his killers already, I am sure of it. Please, you owe it to him.
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you? I trust so few people. And perhaps Pierre really did think that you could help. Of course it wouldn't have stopped him seducing you too. Here,
Yeah.
take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the
Aha.
library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this.
So we've got the key. Alright, so we can get into that room then. Nice. So Imelda doesn't trust me very much. Fortunately, she has chosen to let me investigate her husband's murder. Well, guys, it's been quite the start, and that's where we're going to leave it for this episode. So in the next one, we'll go and investigate this next room and see what happens next. I'm really hooked on this already and can't wait to play more. So as always, thank you very much for watching. A big thank you to my patrons, Arcades Games, Wayne, Nate, Terminally Nerdy, and Paul from the Phantom Fellows, and Lyle for all the support. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all next time.